Hello and welcome to Murder Monday. How the hell are you? I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend and are about to have a lovely week ahead of you. Tonight, we're going to be talking on. Hey, Bridge, how are you, sweetie? Let me send you the link. Uh, Here we go. Right, there you go. Okay, so do you know, Mike? I think I may have too many things open tonight because everything is running so slow. Even me, even I'm running slow. Uh, oh dear, I've been getting so into the Olympics. I can hardly think of anything else. But anyway, tonight, guys, I thought we could go over this story. Um which I'm sure everybody's heard of, Chris Watts and the family murders. Um, in the hours of April the 13th, it was in 2018 in Colorado, American oil field operator Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shannon, who was 34, by strangulation, and their two children, Bella, who was 4, and Celeste, who was 3, by smothering them. He buried Shannon in a shallow grave near an oil storage facility and dumped his children's bodies into crude oil tanks. Watts initially maintained his innocence in his family's disappearance, but was arrested on August the 15th after confessing in an interview with detectives. Okay, so he later admitted to murdering his wife and also his children and his unborn child. Um, so he was convicted of first-degree murder, 5 counts, and he was convicted of unlawful termination of a pregnancy and tampering with a deceased human body, 3 counts. So that's as deep as I'm gonna go into him because otherwise, um, I don't want to go too deeply into what actually happened. It's all over the internet. If you haven't heard of the story, where the hell have you been? Because it's just insane. Hey, Bridge, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We've got Edna lurking over there. Come on up, Edna. Um, Before we start on this, Bridge, well done on that video today.
Oh
I
my
thought it was
goodness. I couldn't believe
you
how many people have watched it. Like, what's
you
going
know,
on?
that's the thing, it's oops. I'm just so glad to be putting out different, content, but,
Hmm.
it could be demoralizing when you look at the numbers,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
but then I think you have to realize what you need to decide what you want from your channel. Do you want
Right.
to be known as somebody who just slags off
Hmm.
people,
Right.
or do you want to put out things of substance, content of substance? And yeah, I saw, like, I haven't been over to your channel for a little while, so I don't know what the numbers are like now, but I thought, okay, she's getting those views in on the
Right. Yeah, that's why I put a tweet out today. I was just like, I try to change my content. I do this one video, and I was like, talk about negative reinforcement. Like, I don't want I don't want to
no. I know. And you can see, it's easy money for some people.
Right.
If
Right.
you look at it like that, it's just easy money. And
Hmm.
I know of somebody who, made a big deal of not talking about, any people in girl world. Um, and they're back doing it because that's where the numbers are
Yep.
in that in this particular corner of YouTube. But I'm happy, if I only got 10 views, I'd be happy, because I think at least it's none of that lot.
Right. Because I was looking like at my analytics the other day, and before it was like 97% women that would watch me, and it's changed to it's like 55% men now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is a good mix.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
now,
I mean, I'm not a numbers person, but we know somebody who is, don't we?
Edna.
Hey, Edna.
Where
Come
is she?
through, Edna.
Yeah, where is she?
Where is she? I can see you. Oh, she's dropped. Okay. And also another thing, it's annoying. It's annoying that I mean, I put in a lot of work into my videos, my standalone videos, as I call them. And it's a little bit demoralizing when you get so few views, but I do what I want to do,
Right.
and I'm not in competition with people that are known to, um, just speak on unsociable people
Mm-hmm.
online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but good for you, girlie. I don't know what Edna's playing up. She's playing that. She's in and out, in and out. She'll come back in a minute. Anyway, so as I said, there she is. She's back again. Hey, Edna.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Success.
What was that
20
about?
times the charm. Oh,
Oh my
so catch
God.
me up. What did I miss in the chat? I know. Congrats to Bridge. Your video was great,
Thank you.
Yeah. And I can't believe it was an hour long, Bridge. Oh my God. That was a lot of
and it
work.
flew by.
But getting through, did you see what's his name, the guy's video, what's his name, Isaac's video that he did yesterday, or his live stream?
No.
It was
Yeah.
6 hours. It was 6 hours long.
Oh, that's
6 hours.
insane. That's
It was
insane.
it was quite a day.
I was. Who?
Bally's live going over it now. She was so excited she couldn't even come on.
Of
Oh,
course,
right.
of
Oh,
course.
okay. Oh, God.
Look,
What, she's going
random
over
question.
bridges?
Random question, Edna. Emo's
Yeah.
Pizza. If you had 2 toppings, what would you get?
I would get pepperoni and onions.
Ah, you ain't no good. Okay, whatever.
Who would you get?
I was trying to order a pizza for my dad to have it delivered. I was like, I know he likes sausage, but I was like, I don't know what else to get.
Mushrooms?
Oh, get chicken and green peppers.
He's iffy. Oh, I'm gonna figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
I like mushrooms.
I do too.
Oh, mushrooms good. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll
It
do
was
that.
funny because today I was in my kitchen preparing food, and I'd got like the front door open, and I was just in my own world preparing food, and all of a sudden I heard hello, and I went, oh, who's that? Because I was in my kitchen and the front door was open. That was it. And she said, it's me, your daughter. I went, oh, for goodness sake. Oh my God.
Wait a minute. I called my mom yesterday. She answered the phone. I was like, Mama. She was like, huh? I was like, mother? And she was like, oh, hey.
How many children does she have?
Just me.
Oh no. You're the
I'm always surprised when I talk to my grandma that she knows that it's me. She's like she's 95. People call me. I'm like, who is this again? And she
I
always like,
know.
okay.
It was funny because she was like, it's me, your daughter. And the front door was wide open. It could have been anyone. But yeah. Oh dear. But anyway, so she stayed for a little while. That was nice. But yeah, anyway, let's get on with this. Let's just check. Edna, you know about this story, do you? I'm not going to talk in depth about what he did because I think it's horrendous.
Okay.
But you've heard of Chris Watts, yeah?
Yes, I have. And I heard a lot about the family annihilators and, kind of how that comes to be and a little bit of would it be methodology or just kind of like, I guess, the philosophy around, like how they come to be.
Oh, really? Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go on. I'm interested. Go on.
Well, I think this is perfect for Bridge to be up here because I think a lot of this begins in like the red pill, like the manosphere, um, like that mindset where you don't look at women as people, as like she's a wife, a servant, like the maid, the this, that, not really like a full partner in your life and in your family. So these men, they get to a point where, they're going through it, they're not working on their mental health and things like that. I mean, granted, that's everybody, but um, they just want to be done with it all. And they think the way to like solve their issue is just to get rid of their family.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Wow. Okay. Right. So what we're going to do, right, where's Edna gone? Hang on 1 second. Where's Edna? Where you gone, Edna?
I'm here.
Yeah, I can't see you on the
Can't see
screen.
you.
Yeah, where you go? Oh. It looks like it's just me and Bridge up there, and I know it's not.
Uh-huh.
Hang on 1 second. Let me add
This
you
is
in.
like my favorite. It's almost, I don't need to be on screen. Go ahead.
She's lurking.
Yeah.
I just can't find you. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Okay. Let's get on with this. Right. What are we doing here? So I need to do this. Do you know what? I organise this earlier on, and then I go about my business, and then I come back to it. And every time when I come back to it, it's always slightly different to how I've left it,
Oh,
and it's really annoying. Um.
you
Anyway,
think
so
Oakley is going in and making edits on your work?
yeah, I do it while we're on sometimes, but I still can't find you. I don't know where you are, but as long as we can hear you, that's all that matters.
No, I meant the cat. I was just joking.
Oh, right. Stop it. Anyway, so what I thought, I saw this. This came up. Let me present. This came up. When did they do it? 10 days ago. And I thought, oh, no, this is interesting. Right. Now we know, see, it's all gone funny. We know that he is in prison, right?
Hmm.
Hopefully for the rest of his life.
Mhm.
But this I found quite interesting that he's blaming his mistress. I mean, how do you blame your mistress when you were the one that did it? And I just thought, did you both see the video of him when he was when he was when he first came to the house when they were looking for the wife?
No.
Did you
Well, I
see?
actually haven't seen any video.
Oh, did you not
Yeah.
see it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Jesus. It goes on
I wanted to
forever.
come in fresh for you, Jan. I thought I knew the backstory. That would be enough.
No, I mean, I've watched all that and
Mm.
it's incredible. It's like he's how can I put it? He acts as if uh, well, he acts as if he's not guilty, obviously.
Mhm.
But when you actually look at, I mean, I've watched it so many times, and I've seen what the body language people have said about it, and he gives
Mhm.
away a lot of clues,
Mhm.
while he's being, like all the cops, they have these cameras on now, these body cams, and
Mhm.
Right.
there's a body cam thing out of him, and yeah, it's like I think the thing that stands out the most to me is that he comes across as just being a normal, ordinary person,
Mhm.
and I think that's what's so frightening in so many cases when they look so normal and and yet they've done the most terrible things. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, yeah, it's insane. So anyway, I'm gonna play some of the clips here and hope that it works, because on my last video, when I was playing it on StreamYard, I didn't get the audio. So can you let me know if the audio comes through?
Mm-hmm.
Will do.
Chris Watts
Yep, we
confessed
can
to
hear
killing
it.
his young daughters and
Good.
his pregnant wife in Colorado out in 2018. And since then, he's been locked up in prison. But now we're learning new details about what he's apparently saying from behind bars. We're breaking it all down with prison consultant Justin Paperny. Well,
See, now when you look at him, he looks, I mean, he looks normal, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like the
But I mean,
normal.
Jan, what do you expect the killer to look like? I mean, they're
Oh, well,
human.
some of them do look like killers, though. Some of them
Yeah,
do.
they do. Yeah, you're right.
You know, some of them have got like that sort of psychotic look about them.
Right. They're not
Uh,
kempt, unkempt and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, but
Okay, I
he,
see what you mean. Yeah, he does look like well adjusted, just like a typical person. You're right.
yeah, just a
Let me
regular
tell you,
Joe.
I had to stop watching like the coverage of this because this guy really, really reminds me of my ex that I had just broken up with when this happened. And I
Oh
was just
no.
Wow.
I was, and I was just like, and I told him too. I was just like, and because everybody's saying that Chris Watts is like a narcissist, and like he acts like him. And I told him, I was like, I think that you're a narcissist. And he was like, he
What
was
did he
like, what do you mean?
say?
He was just like, well,
Yeah.
what's that? He goes, what's that? And I explained it to him and stuff. He was just like, oh, but then like a week or two later, I mentioned it again. And he was just like, oh, yeah. He said, my wife said that she said the same thing too. And I was
Oh.
like, well, why would you ask me what it was when you already knew what it was the
Right.
first time?
Mm.
I was like, maybe I dodged a bullet, like really,
Oh, for
like
sure. And
literally.
yeah,
I mean, people throw around the word narcissist, don't
Uh-huh.
they?
they
Um,
do.
but I don't think that all narcissists are necessarily potential killers.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think that there's certain traits that they discover from
Mhm.
from uh, people that have criminals, that sort of, when they're building their profile, I think that there's certain traits such as narcissism that
Mhm.
comes out. But I think you can have narcissistic people who are very, very successful in life,
Right,
and
right.
if they weren't narcissistic, then they wouldn't be so so successful in life. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't I it,
Well, because I found reading some study, and they said that a lot of people that are in the military and make it high up in the military have traits of narcissism. And this
yeah.
guy that I was dating, he was in the military and he had a high rank too. And I was
Oh,
like,
I'm at the point I come across like if you tick certain boxes, I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt because if you're successful in these roles or whatever, you're a certain kind of person, and I don't want to fool with
yep,
it.
yep,
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
but it takes a certain amount of single-mindedness as well,
mm-hmm,
um,
Hmm.
to hit certain heights, in society. And it's interesting, if you watch a lot of true crime, then you do find that most of the killers, or what's the other one? The people who commit fraud, they're very,
Scammers.
yeah, scammers. They're very single-minded. But
mm-hmm.
then
Hmm.
in extremely successful people, they also need to be very single-minded, and some would say narcissistic, in order to, hit the heights.
Right.
So it's difficult, isn't it? But when you look at somebody like this, I mean, for me, there's no signs of evil there.
Hmm.
When I'm looking at his face here, he doesn't look evil to me
But
at
Jen,
all.
we see like the wedding vows, right? And the
Mm.
guys up there, like beautiful, they're getting married, and he goes into his vows, and everybody's jaws on the ground because it's like, why would you say that? I mean, he looks like the type that would do something like that. And if you do that, then you know what I mean? Then you might get to pushing and shoving. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it escalates. Like, yeah, he's not a killer in this moment, but I
Mm-hmm.
think, anybody has the potential. And I can see him definitely having the potential to get to that point.
Yeah.
Well, he obviously did.
Well, yeah.
He obviously did. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? And I know we all like our true crime. And you do get to see sort of patterns of behavior sometimes, but in other times you just don't see it. And I mean, I'd seen that so many short videos of him with his wife, at Christmas with his kids and everything, and there's no sign of him being the monster that he was to become.
Well, the reason why I said like my ex reminded me so much of him too is because like this Chris Watts dude, he seemed like a very quiet dude, and his wife always like kind of took control. She was the outgoing one. Well, he was very reserved and stuff like that, and that's how my ex was too. But I'm talking about my ex. He had this like resentfulness against like other people, like
Yes.
people, rich people, and stuff like that. And he would say little snide comments here and there, and I'm just like, why are you concerned about it? Like, this is
Yeah, it's an anger, a hatred that they
yeah.
have inside.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guess that could stem from, or the core of that could be a lack of self-esteem.
Yep.
They don't,
Yeah.
deep down, they don't think they're good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do get that, definitely. Okay, let's listen to some more.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. In August 2018, brutal murders took place in Frederick, Colorado. A pregnant mother named Shanann Watts and her two daughters,
Bless them.
4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, were killed. Her husband, Chris Watts, spoke with both police and the media, saying he had no idea where his family was and he just wanted them back home safe.
Right, now this picture here, this footage here, is when the police had raced to the house because they've been alerted by a friend of Shanann's who said that she's not answering the door, we can't get hold of her, blah, blah, blah. So the police have gone to the house, and Chris turns up after a little while from work, okay? This is how he was acting at the time. It's weird. He's showing no sign of anything.
Shanann had just returned home from a business trip the night before. Her friend got worried when Shanann didn't respond to any messages or phone calls. Watts said he had seen his wife at the house around 5 a.m, but he had been at work at an oil company all day. But just 2 days after Shanann and the girls were reported missing, police arrested Chris Watts when he failed a polygraph test. During his interrogation, Watts finally started to tell the truth, or a semblance of the truth. He admitted he was having an affair with a woman named Nicole Kessinger, who he'd met through work. The affair had been going on for several months.
See how similar the girlfriend looks to his wife, though?
Mm-hmm.
I think that the wife was much prettier than the girlfriend.
Yeah. It's weird that he would go for exactly the same look.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole was the only one?
That was the only one.
Was there ever like a one-night stand with someone else just out of the blue and one and done?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if we talk a little bit more about Nicole?
Sure.
So walk me through it, because that was one of the things we never really got to ask you about.
Right.
Yeah, so we found out that he was having an affair with this girl called Nicole, and here he is confessing. I mean, is this a confession that they're playing on the radio here? I don't know. I don't understand this bit, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, it says prison confession.
It's what? Oh, the prison.
It says prison.
Yeah, but he confessed before. He confessed when he was in the
interrogation
room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because his dad came in. He asked for his dad, and when his dad came in, he started crying, and that's when he confessed to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talked about where the girls were, but so what happened there?
So it was probably June 1st or something. That's when I first met her. And it was just like a work conversation. She messed with the gas meters that we were out in the field.
Okay, so he's talking about when he meets her, but I want this video to concentrate more on him blaming the girlfriend. I don't really want to go into the details of it because it's just so vile. So I think here is when they start talking, when they question the girlfriend as to what happened.
Getting rid of them to be with her full time.
But just because I care about him and I care about his kids and all of that doesn't mean that I'm ready to turn around and like commit everything.
Did he ever say anything like that? Like, do I have to get rid of my kids, or
no,
do I, you know?
This shocked me just as much as I think it shocked the rest of the world.
I can't imagine a man turning around to his girlfriend, or a girlfriend saying to a man, you're going to have to bump up your wife and your kids in order for us to, have a relationship. I mean, I just can't imagine that. Maybe I'm just a bit naive.
No, I would be like the best friend to the woman. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to be in the life, you're a bonus mom, you know, it should be a blended family type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All of it. Like he lied so much. Now I go back and think about all this and I'm like, it's lies. Everything that they knew about him was like lies. I mean, his friends let him stay the night at their house. He even fooled them. It's not just me. He lied to everybody. He had all of you fooled. And everybody stood up for him. His friends stood up for him. I really thought she left. I was like, let her go. You know? Come back.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, I think he told her that the wife had left him.
Mm-hmm.
But she was only going on a business trip.
Back in the day, she'll be all right. Let her cool down. She'll be here. It'll be okay. You know, like, how do we convince? Like, I think she's just upset. And then. Never would I guess. I mean, even now, when I go back through this stuff, that I'm like, it doesn't make sense, or it like seems a little off. That stuff still doesn't send a red flag to me, like, hey, this guy's gonna murder his family.
Sure. I don't think there was any, you didn't have any indication, and by all accounts, it doesn't seem like anybody did.
No, I just, like, sometimes I, like, try not to think what that man is thinking, because, like, you don't know,
And that's the thing. I mean, the media were trying to say that she knew everything because she was involved with him. She knew what he had planned. I don't think necessarily that she did. Just because he was sleeping with her and, was carrying on with her. And I think I'm right in saying that he had said to her that in the future they would be together. And I think I'm right in saying that he'd said he'd even given a date as to when they would actually be together.
Oh, wow.
I think so. I might be wrong. But
I mean, you think he really thought he was going to get away with it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, of course he did. I mean, they even went on holiday. Now, this is the girlfriend, isn't it? See, I'm getting confused between the girlfriend
I
and
know.
it's so similar. Oh, look at these little tots. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm looking for stories to go over, so many of them involve children.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
hate it. I just hate it.
Since he went to prison in 2018, Nicole Kessinger has basically dropped off the map, preferring to avoid the public eye. Not surprising there. Police have never said that Kessinger had any knowledge about Watts' crimes. However, now it seems Chris Watts may be placing the blame on Kessinger for what happened. Because in recently published notes from Watts' cell out in Wisconsin, he was moved there, we've learned he labels Nicole Kessinger a Jezebel who destroyed his life.
Wow.
Watts evidently writes letters to God as a form of journaling.
Isn't that just typical?
It's ridiculous. Like any adult that, doesn't take responsibility for their own actions it's like there's no words for that. You know, it's like get out of here.
Mm-hmm. It's insane. Hi, random fish. Nice to see you, girlie.
In one of those pages from 2020, he writes, "Dear Heavenly Father, I have backslidden. I am like a sheep gone astray from the flock and have fallen into a pit. The snare of the enemy has entrapped me. The
Whoa.
words of a harlot have brought me low.
Wow.
Your flattering speech was like drops of honey that pierced my heart and soul." He goes on, "The blessings you have bestowed upon me were right in front of me, and still I followed the perfume of a strange woman. The enemy and his Jezebel mock and scourge me as they celebrate another capture. You, O Lord, did not leave me captive or condemned. You heard the prayer of the destitute and of the prisoner appointed to death." Now, Dylan Tallman was in the cell next to Chris Watts for around a year. He was locked up on drug possession charges, and he told the Daily Mail that he and Watts became friends and studied the Bible together. The two apparently even planned to write a book together. But when Watts backed out of that deal, apparently, Tallman instead turned the writings into a series of his own books called The Cell Next Door. According to Tallman, Watts told him that Kessinger gave him an ultimatum on the night of the murders. It's your family or me. All right, so with that in mind, and clearly a lot to talk about, I want to bring in prison consultant Justin Paperny to talk more about this. Justin, thanks for coming back here on Sidebar. First, let's, from the basic point of view, it's not uncommon for prisoners to talk to one another, let alone about their crimes, right?
It's cathartic for a lot of prisoners to talk about it. Something we encourage people to do is to really talk less and do more, because problems can follow. And in this case, it's a disastrous crime. And rather than try to show any acceptance of responsibility and own it, as we say, he's continuing to create more pain and shame and devastation for the people that he crushed. So he has no one to blame but himself. And this prisoner who's electing to write these books, he's resourceful. He's been in and out of prison, as I understand, and he's looking for an avenue to bring more attention to his work and hopefully create a path to not return to prison. But it is not uncommon for people to go to prison, to form friendships, to open up, and unfortunately say things that can only make matters worse for people they've hurt. In a high-profile case like this, it's very likely this news would get out.
And sometimes worse for themselves, because how many cases do we cover where there's jailhouse informants? Hey, I had a conversation with this guy, and let me tell you what he said, and then testifies against them in a trial.
I just have to tell you this story. What happened to me at the weekend? I was out with my daughter and my granddaughter and my son on Saturday, I think it was. And we went into this shop where there's really unusual furniture in there. They paint it all differently, and it's my kind of vibe. So
Nice.
I was chatting to the guy in there who was very friendly. And I said, "Oh my God," I said, I love, some of the stuff that you've done here. And he said, "Oh yeah," he said, "we're a charity." So I said, "Oh yeah." So he said, we rehouse, or we help homeless people, and we pay them, and they, in return, we also, rehouse them, and in return they paint for us. So, and they sort of, just upcycle furniture. So I said, "Oh, that's really interesting." He said, "Oh, and also there's some prisoners that do it in the jail." And I went, "Oh my God." I couldn't help myself. My son's looked at me as if to say, "Mum."
Right.
So when we got out the shop, he was like, "Mum, are you scared of prisoners?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess I am
Yeah.
a bit."
I'll be cautious.
Yeah, but I just couldn't help myself. I was like, as soon as he said, "Oh, and there's prisoners, there's prisoners in the jail," that I was, "Oh my God." Because he says, and then he said, "Oh, well, at least we stopped them killing each other in there." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm leaving. I'm leaving this shop." But yeah, I just had to. I'm terrible.
It doesn't matter for Chris Watts because he's going to be spending the rest of his life in prison. But talk to me about the religious component of it. Do people, when they go to prison, do they have a newfound lease on religion? Do they become spiritual? Because that's what you're seeing, in a sense, from these Chris Watts notes.
I believe he's using faith or religion as a tool to advance his agenda, that this wasn't his fault. Now blaming his former mistress is tragic. The lion's share of people who go to prison and find faith use it the right way. They want to make their life better. They want to improve. They never want to return to prison. What we have with Watts is a once in a century sociopathic, narcissistic killer. And because of that, he is incapable of reform. He is incapable of introspecting and recognizing that he alone is to blame for this. So it's
Yeah, and this bit here, for those of you that didn't see the body cam footage, this is the body cam footage. I mean, it's there online. It's all over YouTube. But, just so that you can see, you know, his demeanor, really.
it's easier to feel sorry for himself in that prison, blame other people, and cloak it under the guise of faith. Even some of his letters stating that God has forgiven him for his infidelity misses the mark. He murdered his wife, his young children, his unborn child. He's a sociopath. And like I said, one in a century type narcissistic killer, though it was so shocking when he was in trouble because he looked fit, he looked healthy. He's a handsome guy, married with children. It's hard for people to comprehend this is what a killer looks like. But in this case, this is a stone cold killer. And it's a tragedy that he's continuing to make matters worse for the victims in this case, including his mistress.
And by the way, I think that's so interesting that people who are locked up, and he's going to be locked up for the rest of his life, they have to try to, it's easy for him to say God forgives him. It's easy to put himself as the victim in all this, right? Because he's trying to make sense of this situation and has to make sense of his life moving forward. But he is not the first man to be convicted of killing his wife or family while having an affair. But do you see this where they usually put the blame on the mistress, that they're the ones who led me astray, that she was the one or he was the one who kind of made me feel I had no choice but to kill my family? Have you?
It's all about accountability, isn't it? And he's just not accepting responsibility for it whatsoever. And I think when the guy there said that that's the reason why he would never be reformed, he's absolutely right, because the first thing he's got to do is recognize that what he did was wrong. And he's not recognizing that.
Did you see the interviews that his parents have done?
I think so. It's a while ago, aren't they?
Especially, well, the mom especially, where like it had just happened, and she was talking so badly about his wife, talking about like how bad of a person she was.
Unbelievable.
And basically, her son is, he was pushed to do these things, like giving excuses for him. I think the whole family is sick.
Yeah. But you do find that though, don't you, in some cases? So it's like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I mean, how many times do we hear that? And it seems to be true because, I mean, I know you two haven't got kids, but I know myself, if God forbid anything like that was to happen and my son was responsible, I certainly wouldn't be out here blaming other people.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
So they've obviously grown up not having to be accountable for what they've done.
Yep.
You seen this before?
No, that's why I said once in a century sociopathic killer. It's one thing to commit the crime, which is atrocious and awful. It's another to say, I'm going to make people suffer for my bad decisions for the.
I wonder why he's calling him a sociopath instead of a psychopath, though. Can either of you explain that? Why is he calling him a sociopath instead of a psychopath?
And I really don't even know what the difference between the two is.
That's what I'm looking up.
Well, I think there's the marked difference is that a sociopath, it's more about their social ability, their ability to live as a normal social life. isn't it? Whereas I think a psychopath is somebody who's psychotic. And I don't think that necessarily that sociopaths are psychotic. Are
Yeah,
they?
you're right.
So I
No,
find,
no, I mean, so this is what I found. In popular culture, sociopath and psychopath are often used to describe people who have antisocial personality disorder and seem to lack empathy, manipulate others, and have difficulty understanding others' feelings, and have difficulty understanding their feelings. However, doctors don't officially diagnose people as sociopaths or psychopaths, and instead use the term ASPD, the disorder. So yeah,
yeah,
so basically this is saying like psychopath is considered more severe than sociopath.
yeah, that's what I've always believed, and that's why I'm surprised that they're calling him a sociopath.
Hmm.
It doesn't make sense to me. What do you think, Bridget? I mean,
I don't.
where
I
did
mean, we didn't catch it. I mean, that's all you, Jan. Good job.
Right.
let's go back then, and you'll hear him say it.
He's trying to make sense of this situation and has to make sense of his life moving forward. But he is not the first man to be convicted of killing his wife or family while having an affair. But do you see this where they usually put the blame on the mistress, that they're the ones who led me astray, that she was the one or he was the one who kind of made me feel I had no choice but to kill my family? Have you seen this before?
No, that's why I said once in a century sociopathic killer. It's one thing to commit the crime, which is atrocious and awful. It's another to say, I'm going to make people suffer for my bad decisions for the rest of their life. So what he's done inside of that cell 24 hours a day is somehow rationalize and convince himself that he too is a victim of his mistress or circumstances or pressure, right? No one can go to prison regardless of the crime unless you rationalize. The difference is people rationalize every day. He pursued an opportunity to kill, and instead of somehow trying to make amends, he makes matters worse and uses faith or God simply as a tool to continue to advance his agenda, that he's been forgiven, which then gives him another inside lane or track to continue to blame others because of whatever he does, regardless of what he says, he's going to be forgiven. And I want to make clear to the millions of people who may watch this, most people in prison, even those who have committed violent crimes, accept responsibility and want to find a way better back and do not continue to blame. He is once in a century psychopathic killer.
I get what he's saying.
There you go.
Because you get it now?
He said it then, but he's also he's using both the terms. That's why I'm getting confused.
But the thing is, I think he's saying sociopath because of the impact that it has on society. Because this has created a lot of discourse.
Oh, right. So if you said sociopathic, then that means the effect it's had on society, but it doesn't mean that he's a sociopath. He could be a psychopath and have a sociopathic effect on society.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I think he's using it in more in that context than, its actual definition.
Okay, look, it says that sociopaths tend to act more impulsively and erratically than psychopaths.
Right. Well, he obviously
because this wasn't well planned.
This was well planned, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think he just decided to do it one day. Like he was probably thinking about it, but I don't think that he planned it out. Like if he planned it out, it would have been like, okay, she's coming home at this time. I know she's coming home from her trip and I'm going to do this and I'm going to say this. I'm going to plan this. I'm going to put the kids to bed. And then I'm going to like methodically plan everything out. I don't think he did that.
Mm-hmm. And see, I don't know because I don't know any of the details of the actual crime.
Oh, don't you?
No, I mean, not that for whatever reason, I just haven't come across it. I mean, the videos that I saw on it spoke about like just the discourse, like what this, like basically how he's not the only one. Like, how do we avoid this from happening or look out for it?
I mean, it's a huge huge story.
Mm-hmm.
And when was it? It happened in 2018. Right, let's have a quick look. Because we might learn something in the chat as well. So right, someone says it's his fault. He thought murder was easier than divorce.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our chat.
No, our
We have
chat
fish.
happening. Oh, okay. Hi, Random Fish. The neighbour's ring footage was crazy. And the video when he went to the neighbour's house. Yeah. When did he go to the neighbour's? Yes.
they were watching his footage. Yeah. On the
Oh,
TV.
should we have a quick look at that?
Absolutely.
Well, I just wanted to see if anyone was saying about the difference between sociopathic and psychopathic.
And I'm reading right here. I looked it up. It says sociopaths have a weak conscience and may justify behaviors they know are wrong.
Oh,
While psychopaths typically lack a conscience and believe their actions are justified. So he's trying to, he's trying to justify his actions by blaming it on other people.
Yeah. Okay. What do they call that? They call it a body cam, don't they? Body cam. Oh, why did that not come up? It's got to be on there somewhere. Right. Okay. Shall we have a look at this one? Or that one. Or that one. See, that's the girl that was. It's awful.
I've like a year when it first came out. I've looked at so much stuff, and it just got to the point where just looking at his face made me sick. I was like, I can't watch this. Yeah.
Oh right, this is in the neighbour's house. Now watch how he is in the neighbour's house. This is the first time that he shows any kind of sign that something was up.
What's that?
Oh, and the other thing was he was on his phone all the time. Do you remember that, Bridge? He was on his phone. Here he is on the left-hand side. So they've gone round to the friend's house or the neighbour who's got one of these, cameras and a surveillance camera, and he's standing by the TV. He can't look at the TV because he's frightened that he's going to be seen.
Lay down. Loading my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers, some of the tools that I had from the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some pumping unit rubbers today. That's why I was out so far.
Is this on continually?
Yep.
Recording?
Yep. Well,
it's not. Is it motion or is it? Okay, so it's motion.
Any motion event that happens, I get cars driving from this street, and this is him at 517.
So as you can see, parks his van actually just inside the garage, and I don't know whether you actually see him coming out or not, but that's where he took the bodies into the back of the van. I don't know. I don't think it was the kids as well. I don't know. I've forgotten. It was a long time ago.
Oh no, yeah, because the kids were still alive. He put the body in the van or the truck or whatever and packed the kids in. The kids were still alive when they left the house.
Right.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And look at him. You can see he's looking at it like, oh shit, are they going to show me getting in there? This guy actually was brilliant.
Yes.
He knew what had happened. He knew that he was responsible because he said afterwards that he'd never seen Chris acting in that way before.
Yeah, because he pulled the cop to the side, like after they were about to leave the house, and he pulled the cop to the side, like, hey, something's wrong.
I thought good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
outside. I just want to get everything back in. Be easier, so lugging everything out there, all the tools that I had to bring in.
Look at him, look, he's squirming. He's squirming now.
Oh, he looks super guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And why has he suddenly put his hands on his head? What's that about?
You know
What?
what? I was
We
watching
need a
another.
body language expert.
No, yeah, I was watching another video. It was dreading, and they were breaking that down. I forget what they said though.
Something to do, didn't they? Because I watched a couple. Was it something to do with his heart rate? Because his heart rate must
I
have been
think
going so
so.
fast, and it was a way of releasing it, releasing some
Oh,
of.
well, that does help.
Mm-hmm.
Fish says he's ready for them to cuff him.
Yeah, it just astounds me, and I've watched so many killers. It just astounds me how somebody so evil can look so normal. That's just amazed. Look at him rocking now. He's rocking now. That's not normal, is it?
Mm-mm.
What else can I do with this?
Look, if you
Looks
can't
nervous
see
as
him,
hell.
yeah, you can't see him very clearly here because he's out of shot. But you look at this guy's face. Let me go back. He's looking at him as if to say, "What the hell are you doing, man?" Look, you can
Mm-hmm.
just see him in the frame here. You watch him. I mean, it's surprising that he didn't say to him at that time, "What's up, mate? You know, why
Mm-hmm.
what's going on here?" I think I would have done, or I would have said, "Are you all right?" Do you know
Right.
what I mean? Because it's really odd behavior.
Well, did he know that the wife and children were unaccounted for at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But as
I
far as
mean, he probably. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, as far as he was trying to make out was that he didn't know that. Well, he knows that they're missing because he's gone to the house, and because the friends have called him, so he's left work. So
No, not Chris. I mean, the neighbor. Is he aware that the wife
Mm-hmm.
and the children are unaccounted for?
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Because he went to the house, and when the police were there, quite a few neighbours sort of popped in, and friends popped in when the police were there, and I think they all said that he was acting a bit strange. But this particular footage, I feel, was the giveaway. Who stands there with their hands on their head like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm doing that now while I'm talking to you, and it's just an unnatural position to be in, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean that was me Sunday on my walk because I was dying.
You put your hands on your head.
Absolutely, the man was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just taking a walk."
Oh dear.
What else can I do with this?
Look at his face.
My detective just showed up, so he'll probably want to talk to you. He'd probably, like I said, he might have you call at the bank and see if there's any kind of activity.
Take your hands off
Because
your
if
head,
there was
man.
any sort of action out
Out of
there,
his camera,
I would have got it.
like
Right.
we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that, and I had parked my truck
I
up
had
here.
it parked right here.
Yeah. So someone,
See if
I could
anything
see where
happened.
someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver over there, and it was just like,
But if any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house, I would
If it would have been like right in that area, it should have picked, I mean,
oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street. This way.
you know where that tree is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Watch, I'll show you. There's nothing on here. We've already watched that one. But like, you'll see this car.
What security system do you have?
Let's show you this car. Look, you can see this car starting to drive down the street.
That one.
Oh, look, okay.
See what I'm saying? It picks up all the way down there.
That's cool.
He's next door.
There we go.
I was talking about dispatcher. He'll be close for.
Yeah.
He thinks he's got away with it now, doesn't he? He thinks, oh, I haven't really seen anything. I was looking at the wrong car. This car is the neighbour's car. This is where, you know, he was looking. And if you looked closely, you could see that his Jeep was sort of almost in the garage. And that's where he loaded the woman. So, Bridge, do you know, like, he loaded the mother's body. Excuse me. So did he take the kids? He didn't load them in the back as well, did he?
Yes. Yes, he threw the wife on the floor, and then the kids were on the seat.
Oh my God.
We can pick up cars coming this way. I get anything coming this way and making this turn. So, and usually at night I pick up the cars pulling a ear trim. So unless they pulled right here, yeah, but I would have caught her walking out. Diesel.
He really doesn't know what to do with himself, does he?
But yeah, I got nothing.
Nothing for the rest of the day.
No, that's it.
She's pregnant as well.
How far along?
14, 15 weeks.
Oh. Oh, so he's just noticed it because that advert came on with that embryo. How sick is this man?
Right. Right.
That's why her friend said it was low blood sugar.
And see, I've got her friend leaving out here at, 2.
And they even knew it was a little boy, didn't they?
They named the baby. They even named the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Was it Sebastian?
No, Nico.
Oh, Nico, yeah. Who's he texting?
I mean, he really had no love for her. I couldn't imagine, like, this is your first son? He didn't care?
No, obviously.
Oh,
and
it
his
breaks your
baby.
heart.
Oh, and his babies, those 2 little girls.
Yeah, of course.
Evil man.
I can't believe he had those girls, you know, with their mom, yeah, like that.
You go check if anything was missing around your house.
Is it true that he drugged the little girls? Did I hear
No,
that?
I don't think so. I don't think so,
Oh.
because I remember they said he took the first one and did what he did with her, and then he was taking the second one, and the second one was like, Daddy, he said that she said, Daddy, no.
She was pleading with him, bless her.
Yes.
Don't do that to me. Yeah. Evil bastard.
Mhm.
And did you see where he put them?
Mhm.
He put them, I don't know if you know it, but he put them in,
No,
you
I
know,
don't.
really big stacks. I mean, Bridget would probably describe it better. You know where they hold oil?
Yeah. Mhm.
It was like a great big oil canister.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he had to walk up the steps with them, and then he just threw them in. It's horrific. I wasn't going to talk about that, was I?
No, I don't think so, sis.
Sorry, fish. Oil drums, that was it. Hi, Sasha. No, that man killed his pregnant wife. He buried them alive. No, he dropped them into the oil cans. Awful. I don't know where he's disappeared to now. Oh, here he comes. Fight or flight. Another thing that's weird is that he didn't shed any tears. I mean, at this particular point in time, he's, supposedly thinks that they're missing, and he's just showing no emotion about, where his pregnant wife and his babies could be.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as it picks up motion, it'll like fail. Okay. I thought you.
That was the start of the video.
Yep. About 1:48 in the morning.
I didn't pick her up going into the house though.
It didn't.
Oh, right, because she'd been away on a work trip. So in the early hours of the morning is when she came home. So they're just looking at that footage to see when she came home. So they've caught the car going. Oh, is this when the guy says something? Hang on a minute.
What comes up here?
Big houses, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
No, if you just want to go talk to him, I'm going to get his info real quick. No.
Mm.
Back and forth, and if you look,
You know,
he never loads his stuff in and out of the garage ever.
Right.
And it doesn't look like he came from right here. It looks like he came from down the street. And then the other thing that doesn't make sense is why would he pull past this part? You can see him pull past.
Yeah, he actually goes into the driveway. Actually goes into the building, rather.
Are you able to record this?
Uh-huh. I'd have to call Comcast so I can get him to do whatever. But watch, you'll see him get out. And he walks back and forth a couple times. To be completely honest with you, my wife and I were kind of wondering when she was on vacation if something happened, because I've heard them full out screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and he gets crazy.
Does he? And that's pretty recently.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's why she went and visited people, is because she wanted to get away from the situation.
Do you have your ID handy?
Oh, well done, mister, speaking up about it. So who have we got back here? I can't remember this guy.
I think that was the son of the friend, the son of Shanann's friend. I think.
That's right. Okay.
I've never seen him. If he loads his stuff, he normally just walks back and forth because I get him on camera.
What does he usually load up?
All he usually has is a lunchbox and a book bag, looks like a computer, and usually a water jug. That's it. But the fact that he was in here and explaining to it over and over and over,
Well, odd.
he doesn't look worried.
Yeah.
He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if he's loading his stuff, why isn't he walking back and forth? But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulled into the garage. And he knows my camera's there.
Any other neighbors have cameras around here, you know?
I'm sure.
Yeah, so that's the that's the surveillance footage. Shall we just go back and hear what they said about the woman, him blaming the woman?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I was going to ask you if that's particularly frustrating. We talk about the purposes. There's deterrence, there's rehabilitation.
I want to hear about the
Like
why.
Dahmer was killed in prison. It's a good thing he has a lot of security there, because when you kill young children, he is a target inside of that prison. So I can assure you there's a great deal of scrutiny and security from staff. And if any moment they look up, someone who's looking to hold him accountable for what he did and get in the news could look to pounce on him like they did with Whitey Bulger, like they did with Dahmer. And you could argue at some point it's coming if he doesn't shut up, if he doesn't continue to convey a different message. So I will tell victims of crimes, people will continue to hurt you, primarily the person that has stolen, or in this case, devastated your family. I have such empathy for the families that he continues to do this. I have such empathy for them.
No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. He can be locked up, but still continue to create harm, inflict harm and damage. But the idea of him putting the blame on this Jezebel, this mistress that he had, is that a way for him to protect himself in prison? Is that a way to say, hey, to the people around him, say, listen, it wasn't me, it was her? And, you know, I was trying to understand why he would do that.
It's so he can sleep. It's so he can find a way to have some meaning on the inside. There are people, because of his celebrity, who are enamored by him that might buy into this story. I know he receives letters from women across the country who might be sympathetic to that.
How can you be sympathetic to somebody like that?
Mm-hmm.
There's some weird people out there.
Message. So he does it to advance his agenda, to get through very long, tough days isolated in prison. But he also does it to elicit sympathy, with hopes that he can create and find a romance through written letters in prison. And it's easier to convey that this wasn't my fault, it was somebody else's fault. And there will be gullible people out there who are in need of some meaning in their life who will take the bait and fall for it. So it's simply to advance his agenda. Nothing he has done since killing these people and going to federal prison, nothing, he has done nothing to put the victims first. It still remains about Chris, and it will probably be that way until he drops dead inside of that prison, or until he's killed in there.
Talk to me about Dylan Tallman. You know, you have somebody who wants to seemingly profit off of his conversations with Chris Watts. Is that unusual?
It's not unusual. You had Vincent Bugliosi, an author many years ago, who wrote about the Manson killings. I wrote a book called Lessons from Prison on the Inside. My business partner, Michael Santos, wrote more than 20 books in prison. He had been in and out of the system. He's looking for a way to not return, to provide value. Clearly, there's interest in this story. So if he's doing it in an honest way and he's living a law-abiding life, much like a producer may make a movie about Goodfellas based on the mafia, I think he has the opportunity to share these insights and stories. I see nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Now, some people would say he's profiting, as some people argued I profited off my book, and I would argue I'm sharing lessons I learned from this experience with hopes of helping people. He's providing insights into the mind of a killer. What's it like to serve a sentence alongside someone who shows no remorse or shame? Criminal.
Yeah, that's an interesting debate to have, I guess. I don't see anything wrong in it personally. I think, you know, if he is earning money off of it, I don't see anything wrong with that. He's there. People, you know, as we know, there's all types of people out there in the outside world who would, can I say enjoy? I don't know, but maybe enjoy reading about somebody who was who was in prison with the monster who is Chris Watts. Although Chris Watts is in isolation, isn't he? For his own safety. So yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, I guess so.
Serves him right. That's what I say. So I think we've covered everything that I wanted to cover on that. Really. Let's see what the chat are saying. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, Sasha. But I also think, well, what's the alternative? I mean, I I don't believe in capital punishment. Really, I think it's something that they're not going to. They need to suffer. That's what I think.
No, I think certain people, it's unfortunate, but you know, if they do horrific things, they need, we don't need them here, you know.
Yeah, I know, but then they're not suffering. I believe in the, you know, an eye for an eye. So I think I think they should be locked up, but I don't think they should have any privileges whatsoever. And they should, yeah, just be shut in a room with no
It's
window.
shocking to see. Yeah, it's shocking to see some of the accommodation of like these mass murderers and like serial killers and things. I can't think of. I want to say maybe like Sweden or certain countries where I mean their facilities look like better than
Oh, they do.
apartments. If you see,
Yeah.
But in countries like that, like Sweden and stuff, they actually teach rehabilitation. I don't think that could be said for the U.S. I think prisons in the U.S. are more like punishment. You're going to be punished for your
oh
crime.
yeah, you
Yeah.
don't even. I don't think they even look at them as people. It's ridiculous because then how do you have any hope for them to come out and be better if you don't expect that of them?
But some of them don't deserve to come out and don't deserve
Yeah.
to have that chance to be better. You know, there's people like
A
that.
convicted felon is
How can you let him back into society or somebody like him back into society and expect him to act like a normal human being when obviously he wasn't? He's never been a normal human being. So how can you rehabilitate somebody like that? You
well, I think we
can't.
don't let people get to that point. But I don't think like clearly this was like he took it to an extreme. But I think a lot of people or a lot of men are have this kind of same mind frame, like mindset.
Yeah. There's a big difference between mafia and a family who's murdered, but whatever, to each their own. Okay. Don't know where the
Yeah, I
mafia
mean,
came into that.
no, I think they were talking about it in the video. They said something about the mafia.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
The other prisoners are targeting him, which quite often happens when there's children involved.
Yep.
And yeah, and
Any crime with a child.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well, because I was gonna say, I think there's like certain organized crime groups that do have like some kind of ethics about their crime.
I don't believe in capital punishment either because I was raised Catholic, and Dead Man Walking made an impact on me. It's a movie. I've
Yeah.
heard of the movie, but I've not watched it. Yeah, I just don't believe in it. The way I look at it is it's an easy way out for them because they're not being held accountable then. You know, they're just not here anymore. So why should they
I
get away?
mean, but
Why should they get
I think
away
we're
with what they've done?
because it's not about them. It's about we're doing what's best to move society along, and like putting resources into this man that's going nowhere isn't doing anything to help society.
But people like
Put them
that
on the
will
island
never.
somewhere.
People like that will never be helpful or value to society. They will
And
never
that's what
be like that.
I think that's what that is saying. So she's basically like, put them
Yes.
down because they're not going to be helpful to society. So why are we spending resources on them?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So what, spending money to keep them in jail?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, maybe they should do what they did with with leprosy. People who suffered from leprosy years ago, they'd send them off to an island and they just had to live all together on an island. Maybe they should do that.
That's an idea.
Don't send them any food or anything like that. Just pack them up. Find an island somewhere, nowhere near Britain. Thank you very much. Somewhere, somewhere away from any sort of human contact, any communities, and just dump them on there. Go on, fend for yourselves. That's what I'd do.
Mm-hmm.
Make me prime minister.
It's like you.
Because I mean, all these people that come in and say, "Oh yeah, but if maybe they are, what's the word? Sad about what they did. They didn't mean to do it, and blah blah blah." No, at the end of the day, they did it, and somebody like Chris Watts standing there. Oh no.
What
Go on, Edna.
what actually gives me pause is because like there's so many people that are wrongly convicted though. So like imagine putting
Right.
somebody to death that was actually innocent, and you found out after their death that they were innocent, or putting somebody on this island and they, of course, it's going to be chaos on this island because you got crazy people and they end up losing their lives on this island, and they were innocent as well. So I don't know.
I know, and there's always that argument. But I mean, in order to find somebody guilty, you've got to have enough evidence, right?
No,
So
not
if
necessarily.
Not necessarily, because you
there-
have corruption, Jan.
Yep. Like there's because
People
that's
lie.
why we have. I don't know if you guys have the Innocence Project there, but we have the Innocence Project in the U.S. where they try to get people that have been wrongly convicted off, get them out of prison.
Yeah,
And
I
they
have
gather-
heard of that.
Yeah, and they gather enough evidence to prove their innocence, even after they've been convicted.
Yeah, I have heard of that, and I think that's awful. I mean, we have people over here that have been put away, and they shouldn't have been put away.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that. But I think, okay, so we'll just pick the ones
that we're sure of.
I think it's not.
Yeah.
Well, no, because like in this situation, who else could it have been, right? Or if you have somebody who creates a mass shooting, situation,
Yeah.
like I think those are the cases where it's like, all right, thank you, bye bye.
Mm.
Yeah. I think so too. People like that. And we've got people, there's people that are caught red-handed virtually. And,
Right.
Yeah, those people, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get
But
you
if
back.
you have hearsay and witnesses and stuff, all of this stuff that you have to piece together that maybe it looks, it's all pointing into this direction, I think no, that's not the case. But something like this where it's like, who else would it have been? Like, it's the spouse, of course. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be absolutely sure, obviously. But I think there are cases. It's like there's so many people. I can't even think of one person now. Luca McNota, whatever his name is. He scares the living daylights out of me. He should be sent over on that island, and don't send them on a nice ship. So, put them in a helicopter and just drop them over the island. Just open the door, go on, out you go. All this trying to rehabilitate people. No, I don't believe in that. I do not believe in it. People in the chat, can you add some more people that you think should go on this island? Oh, she's dropped now. Where's she gone? Yeah, he's a serial killer. I think the number is 3. If they've killed over more than 3 people, I think it's they're called a serial killer. What's this? I think capital cases get automatic appeals, don't they? Did I imagine that from a TV show? I don't know. Do you know that, Bridge?
I have no idea.
Will you stop messing about, Edna? Just get up here and stop being silly.
Apologies, I'm on my phone, right? And I got a text message from my
Okay.
best friend. So I was excited. Sorry.
Oh, that's nice. So who else would we put on our island? Let me think. Oh, what about? Oh no, that's a bit controversial. Right, I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead and say it, Jan. You got
Right.
No. Gannon Storch. You know that story? Gannon Storch. Him. His. It was his dad's wife. Yeah, do you know that story? Okay, you two are rubbish.
Sorry.
Gannon Storch. Him. Right?
Oh, you know who I would put on there? Have you heard of the stories of it's an Asian website where it's just like it's like the dark web type of thing where they just abuse children and animals, just that craziness. The people who are over that site, we don't need them here.
Yeah, all of them. Send them over there. We don't want them. Right, Gannon Storch. He was a little boy who's it was his stepmom who killed him. So her, definitely.
Oh.
Who else? Who else? There must be other ones. I'm looking on. Let's see.
Have you already read Sasha's comments in chat?
Sorry?
I said, have you already read Sasha's?
Peterson guy. Yes. Yeah, he got away
Peterson?
with it for years, didn't he? Peterson.
No. Listen, people are saying that he is innocent.
No, he isn't.
He's gonna get a
Wait,
retrial.
who
He
is
is
this? I don't
innocent.
know.
Scott Peterson.
Scott Peterson.
Yes, and then
What did he do?
Killed his
okay.
wife and his pregnant wife.
Yeah, and he killed the. Oh no, that's a different one.
No, yeah, it was just the pregnant wife. She went missing, and he was
there's
having an
another
affair.
Peterson. There's another Peterson. What? Who is he? Peterson.
Oh, Lacey, I remember now.
Yes, and because like I follow this lawyer, who I really really like, and I was surprised because on Twitter she was saying that she was like he's innocent. I'm like, what is this lady talking about? And then like she started breaking it down and talking about the baby, and the baby. She was saying that the baby was already born, and so she's saying that Lacey was basically kidnapped and allowed to give birth to the baby. And when they found the baby, it had signs that had already been born. So that's what she's saying, is that Scott was innocent.
I was talking about Drew Peterson.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's awful. He's awful. And they did they've done well, CNN are talking about it here, but I don't know if they've done a Netflix one. But yeah, that was him, Drew Peterson. And he got away with it for years, remarried and everything. Yeah, what a creep. This is him.
Hold on.
This is him here. No, you don't know of him?
Wait a minute.
No.
Oh, God. Right, this is another one. He should be dropped on the island.
Oh, the staircase guy?
Yes. And he was a Peterson as well.
What is up with all these Peterson? Jeez.
Right.
Yeah, him as well. Who else? Yeah, oh, you remember him, do you, Random Fish? Yeah, he gives me the creeps, he does. Really gives me the creeps. Who else is there? I know, I'm going to put... I think anyone who has been proved to do it, really proved to do it. All right, we won't drop Scott Peterson yet, but anyone that has been proved to do it. That staircase guy was awful. Awful.
What was that story? I haven't heard it.
Oh, the staircase guy. Oh my God.
Didn't he
You want to save it for next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't he kill two of his wives? Because I remember watching the Netflix series years ago.
There was one that he got. Yeah, there was one that he got away with. No, did he? No, I think
I
there was
think
only
so.
one. Did he?
Because they didn't think it was suspicious until the second wife was killed or had
This
died.
one, and he did like a Netflix video, and he was walking around, acting like, it was just purely by accident. His wife ended up dead at the end, at the bottom of the staircase. But then he was arrested afterwards. But he paid for like the top lawyers and everything, and to defend him. And he really thought he was going to get away with it, and he didn't get away with it. I'm so glad. So I don't know the story on it. So gives first interview in 20 years on Lacey Peterson murder. So what, this young guy here, he doesn't look very old. What, so he was accused of killing
his pregnant wife.
So what are they saying now?
So basically he was convicted because basically his alibi was that he had went to go fishing and stuff, but he didn't have the receipts, or I don't know what happened. He didn't have the receipts, and then they found the bodies at the place where he had went fishing. But people are saying that the police, the his wife and the unborn baby that was basically born out of so they found it in the bay. But people were saying also that the police gave away the information of where he was, because you know how sometimes police withhold information. So he said his alibi was going fishing, and the police told the world where he went fishing. So people are saying that the real killer basically dumped the bodies there.
Oh wow, it's funny how Peterson seems to be the name. So if anyone
stay away from Petersons.
Yeah, stay away from Peterson.
Jordan Peterson, he's a cookie one too.
Who?
Jordan Peterson.
Right, yeah, he was a novelist. This guy here, I can't remember what his name was. What's his blooming name? Hang on, click on that.
Year-old fall. Was she beaten to death? Or bizarrely, is an owl to blame? The case has attracted so much interest, it's been the subject of an award-winning documentary, as well as a recently released drama series. Tonight, Kathleen's husband, Michael Peterson, speaks.
That's it, Michael Peterson. And he's a writer, and he just thinks he's wonderful, and he's got away with the perfect murder.
Because everybody thought it was so ridiculous that she was attacked by an owl. But then they showed that owls really do attack people. like everybody thought it was ridiculous, but no, owls really do attack people.
That is so
any wild animal. I mean, people really don't know animals. They think, you see a little panda bear and you're going to go up there and cuddle it or something. Right. It's like, they don't work that way.
Oh my god, this is the guy that scares the life out of me. I just hang on, when someone like really scares you, this guy does. Now this is what a psychopath looks like. Okay, this guy, Luca Magnota. Magnota. Oh, he's so scary. Oh, he's sick. But look, I mean, like when we were talking a little bit earlier, and I said, that guy that we were just talking about, I've forgotten his name now. What was it? The Watts didn't look anything like a killer. This guy looked exactly like a killer. Sorry, not Dr. Grande. This one here. I mean,
no, we know.
Sickening. Anyway, oh God, look, we go. Oh no, I don't like him. He really gives me the creeps. Anyway, okay, guys, we're gonna go. We're gonna leave it there. Thanks, girlies, for coming up. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. What a weirdo. Yeah. All right. Look what Sasha says. Original Albie attacking
Oh.
She's dangerous.
She is, especially in that bikini. You just have to laugh, don't you, at the antics? I tell you, you just have to laugh. Anyway, girlies, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks
Thanks
to
for having us.
That's all right, darling. Thanks to everyone in the chat. We'll see you on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. Listen, Wednesday I'm going to London Zoo. I'm going with my boy and his girlfriend. We're going to London Zoo, so hopefully I'll still have some energy to go live.
Okay.
So,
I'll be in Edna's part of the country on Wednesday.
Really? Nice.
Will you
So
be able
welcome
to
back.
join us?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because
Okay.
my flight gets in Wednesday afternoon, so I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Well, you'll be missed if you're not
Okay.
here. But we'll battle through, won't we, Edna? If we don't have our
Absolutely.
questions. All right then, ladies, and thank you so much to chat for joining, and to lurkers and everyone on the replay. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you very soon. Because trust me, it's a rotten old world out there. I mean, just don't bother going out, guys. Just stay in. Anyway, thanks for coming. Bye bye for now.